El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.
The African Union, through its Agenda 2063, has envisioned an integrated and prosperous Africa. This vision cannot be achieved without the steadfast commitment of nation-states to harness energy. Power is the foundation of Africa's agriculture, industrialization, digitalization, integration, and overall development. No meaningful progress can be imagined in the absence of energy. Ethiopia, an Eastern African country, recognized this long ago and has been striving to build major power projects. Recently, it completed the construction of Africa's largest hydropower project, called the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. This $5 billion project had the capacity to generate more than 5,000 megawatts of electricity. Beyond meeting Ethiopia's domestic demand, the dam will supply power to neighboring countries, particularly in Eastern Africa. Ethiopia's resilience and determination are clearly reflected in the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which has become a source of pride for African nations. This week, journalists from IGAD member states traveled to the site of the dam. By the way, IGAD is an abbreviation that stands for Intergovernmental Authority on Development. It encompasses countries such as Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, and Uganda. I joined these African journalists on their journey. Journalists expressed that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam could serve as a source of inspiration for African countries. They emphasized that the project will act as a catalyst for regional integration and cooperation.
To me, I believe it can contribute to, strengthening diplomacy. In that, if countries can actually get electricity from Ethiopia, this will strengthen the relationship, and it can be able to help these countries exchange, the resources that they have. The friendship will be stronger between these countries.
I think this project is very beneficial, not just for Ethiopia, but for the entire IGAD region, because with this kind of a project, I'm sure Ethiopia will have enough electricity, not just for domestic use, but even to share with the neighbors, such as Kenya and Uganda, and we will have enough electricity maybe to enable us have a post-harvest storage of our agricultural produce, and even maybe for fishing. The blue economy will improve, not just here in Ethiopia, but also in neighboring countries. So it's quite impressive. It's quite impressive. And it's also something that other member states can learn from. In Kenya, we had a vision of constructing Aurora and Kimwarer Dam. And now for Kenyans to see this, now they can actually relate and maybe be able to visualize President William Ruto's vision for the country as well.
We've been able to visit this dam. It's one of the largest dams in Africa continent. And I really want first to commend the Ethiopian government for the well done job here. Electricity is everything that we all need. Remember, not only for consumption, for local consumption or for domestic consumption, but remember also when it comes to industrialization, it is a big thing. So with this dam here, with its ability to produce electricity, not only for Ethiopians, but also for the neighboring country. I hope that the Ethiopian government and its neighboring governments, neighboring countries, will be able to come to a conclusion, to an agreement on way out how they start importing these electricity so that it becomes beneficial to the neighboring countries. And I want to agree, it is a game changer, not only for domestic use, but it also goes a long way to industrialization.
Well, I feel it's such a good idea because aside from selling the electricity, we shall be promoting unity among all these countries. because I spoke to one of the engineers. He said Kenya, they're also going to start selling to Kenya. That will really bring a big collaboration, and even other countries, because you can imagine we Ugandans need a visa to enter Ethiopia, and I thought we are all East Africans, we are not supposed to be needing visas. We are supposed to enter my country freely with a good reason for a visit, and I'm supposed to enter your country freely. But this electricity idea is really going to bring about good collaboration. We shall even leave electricity aside and do other collaborations. Like we shall source for more collaborations aside from this. But them selling power to neighboring countries, it's really, really good.
Power is source of life, because even when you look at the creation, God ensured that the second day He said, "Let there be light," because without light, most of our activity will not go through. It is because of the light now the camera is able to capture me. So the power will be a great use in South Sudan. It will be also creating a very good relationship between South Sudan economically. Yeah. What I would say is, being connected by the same power, eventually you guys will be also connected in a term of relationship. It will create that friendly environment of cooperating, working together. So this one is a way of bringing people into one table to work together as the same region.
The backbone for development and for innovation is electricity. You need telecommunication, you need computers, you need and smart schools, smart education systems. You will need electricity to implement that. And some of the countries have an advanced electrical system, and geothermal, solar, but then it's not enough to run a country. So we need to borrow electricity from this project or similar projects in the future because of the Ethiopia's abundance and source of electricity. And with that, it creates an integration, it creates a unity between the member countries, because when one country solves an important problem of your country, that creates a bond that and sticks and overcomes time.
The energy that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is producing is instrumental in ushering development and prosperity in our region. And as you know, we are interconnected through our transmission lines to Kenya, to Djibouti, to Sudan, and through Kenya to Tanzania as well. And this energy interconnection will provide a platform for the countries to enhance their relations, their bilateral relations. By doing so, it will help the region's countries to further deepen their relations and usher cooperation.
The power it generates mainly is not only for Ethiopia, but also for all regional countries. You probably have seen it, 2 months ago, the president of Kenya were here, and others were also here, and they were interested to purchase power from Ethiopia. Through that, it facilitates and enhances the integration process of our region, and eventually it feeds into the African Union agenda of 2063, where we envisage to see an integrated and prosperous Africa.
Indeed, Ethiopia is already exporting electricity to neighboring countries such as Djibouti, Sudan, and Kenya. Other Eastern African nations have also signed agreements to purchase Ethiopia's clean and affordable energy. The dam's significance also lies in its ability to challenge the long-entrenched notion that Africans cannot stand on their own feet.
Well, everything is about commitment. Where there's a will, there's always a way. And so Ethiopia invested so much in this project, not only to serve its own people, but to serve Africans as a whole. So this alone is the testimony that Africans can solve their own problems.
This is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. It has been entirely and totally financed by the people and the government of Ethiopia. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a testimony that Africans can realize and achieve big super mega projects.
We are the ones who understand our issues better, and sometimes we just need to sacrifice, trust our governments, and contribute that extra tax maybe, so that we finance such projects which will be beneficial not just for the current generation but for other generations as well, generations to come. So this is proof that we have our own solutions to our problems as Africans and for Africans in the IGAD region. This is proof now. You know, people will just hear, oh, you have your own solutions, but you don't know how it can be done. But Ethiopia has shown us the way. Ethiopia has shown us how it can be done, that it's actually possible and it can be done and it will be beneficial to everyone.
It brings out the full potential that Africa has in standing on their feet. And if all of us can come together for unity of purpose, be able to push this agenda, Africa has all it takes to stand on its own.
I would have to first applaud your government, because using the taxpayers' money to do this big development, it's rare in African countries. This is really nice, and it will change the narrative. This will just increase it being known and showing to other presidents to borrow a leaf from Ethiopia.
I think already availability of this dam, it has already created an image of saying we can. Yes, Africa, we can. Because if Ethiopia can do this, why not South Sudan? Why not Kenya? So as African, let's learn from here that we can create our own dam. We don't need to depend on other countries. We don't need to depend on the foreigners want to come and tell us this A, B, C, D, E. You see, Ethiopia have already done this. Let's watch and learn. We can do this. Let us build our nation. Let us work on ourselves. Let us have belief in ourselves as African. Don't think that a visitor will be the one making sure that you have development. The development has to come within you. That will be my message.
First of all, it was a huge ambition, the GERD. It was a mega project that's very unheard of in the African context. Most of the mega projects are internationally implemented. This is a locally owned, ambitious project, and it seemed as a dream initially, but it was implemented. And congratulations to Ethiopia for leading the way and showing that it can be done.
I'm really, really happy and thrilled to be here today. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam took the last 14 years. A lot of work by all Ethiopians, by its leadership, and a lot of commitment from both its citizens who live in Ethiopia and those who live abroad. As you know, it was totally funded and financed by Ethiopians who reside here in Ethiopia and those in the diaspora. That by itself is a huge, huge accomplishment for Ethiopia, and I believe this is quite an exemplary initiative for others as well. So now that it's inaugurated, it's a huge project, the biggest dam with over 5,100 megawatts of energy being produced from this dam. It tells you the fact that Ethiopia can, Africa can. It's really a Pan-Africanist project in so many ways.
The impact of climate change has become increasingly visible in recent years. International and continental organizations, including the United Nations and the African Union, are calling for stronger collective effort to combat climate change. Ethiopia has positioned itself on the right side of history in this regard. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam demonstrates Ethiopia's determination to pursue green development and sustainable energy solutions.
I think it will be very instrumental in helping us maybe deal with floods, because if we have such a mega dam, any extra water that comes, it can be stored here, yeah, and it can also help us to deal with drought. When the season is dry, we'll have water, yeah, so that is mitigation in terms of climate change.
And if we focus on that, it also comes in combating climatic change in terms of curbing deforestation, because majority of our population were used to traditional ways of cooking. That means they have to fetch for firewood, to go cut down trees in fetching for firewood, and also burning of charcoal. And these leads to emission of carbon monoxide. But now with these in place, we'll be able to solve that matter or that challenge of carbon emission.
I think the biggest impact the GRD will have is its impact towards the climate and resilience. Ethiopia has been selected to host the COP32 after Turkey, and that plays a huge responsibility to be a role model when it comes to climate protection and climate resilience. And the dam plays an important role when it comes to clean energy and renewable energy. And the biggest target of the world and environmental ambition is to do away with fossil fuels and replace it with clean energy. And as we know, electricity is one of the cleanest energies, and having a surplus electricity and enough to drive the vehicles in Ethiopia will contribute hugely to the carbon emissions that's generated from the fossil fuel energy. So yes, it plays a huge role when it comes to climate impact and climate resilience.
Okay, I will think of the impact of this dam will be like, at the moment in Africa we have seasonal weather. Sometimes we are being faced by the drought, sometime back we have been faced by flood, as you can see in South Sudan. So having such dam, it will help us now in water management, Yeah, water also resources, and we ensure that we will, for example, if we are to pass by the drought, it will be good for us because we have restored already our water. Now it will be good for irrigation, it will be good for farmers also to do their farming. And secondly, we will not lack out of, as you can see also, we will not run out of the fishing because we will be storing our fish. Yeah.
When we talk about climate change, most times when we talk about climate change, people associate it with drought. But it's not only drought, it's also floods. Floods destroy people's houses. People are dying because of floods, We first leave the drought side apart because when we ask a random person who is not well versed on climate change, they will tell you, oh, it's drought. But it's not only drought, it's also floods. And with this dam, it will obviously control the water flow of the water and prevent it from flooding, like it regulates. It will prevent it from flooding the neighboring areas and causing damage to people's houses, people's crops, people's livelihoods.
Each year we produce around 15,690 gigawatt hour per year from our installed capacity of 5,150 megawatts. By doing so, we are saving the planet from releasing 2 million tons of carbon dioxide, which would be very devastating for the environment and for climate. That's one basic contribution of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam for climate action. The energy that we are producing from the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is clean energy, as you know, which means our rural people, they are not going to the jungle or the forest to destroy trees, to destroy the environment to meet their energy needs. That's firewood that we have been using. So our people will have their supper with the light bulb on in their homes. It will contribute a lot to safeguard and conserve the environment. Through the provision of clean energy, you are advancing your agriculture, your health system, your industry, which means you are creating more jobs. So it will provide the platform to ensure food security as well. And the cumulative effect is saving the environment.
It by and large addresses the concerns of the lower riparian countries. One of the complaints that were coming from the lower riparian countries was that they used to have perennial floodings every rainy season here on the highlands of Ethiopia. But now that you have the dam, we have the capacity to regulate the outflow of the water to these lower riparian countries so that they will only get expected amount of water every year or every season. That by itself is a huge climate mitigating effort that you can get as a dividend from the GERD.
At a time when climate change and its disastrous impact has become at the front and center of global discussion and global dialogue, global debate. Ethiopia has shown its steadfast commitment for green energy, for green development, and for climate mitigation activity. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam has a capacity of generating more than 5,000 megawatts of electricity, clean energy. In fact, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is the largest hydropower project in the entire continent. Well, that was my brief but productive stay at the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. I witnessed how it ignites hope across Africa. Much is happening on the continent, and we are here to showcase Africa's resilience, achievements, challenges, and the path forward. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural reach to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.